Good evening, class. Our Module 6 discussion was to pick out one injustice in the rural communities. What are the issues and how would we address those issues? So I'm choosing the economic injustice because I have personally experienced this with family members, and I just see it so much in my community. While our county is growing in population, people are moving in from everywhere, but instead of being a help, it is actually hurting our economy even more. We have had some new jobs to come in, but the people that are moving in are taking those jobs, and it is still leaving out those that are suffering in poverty or low paying jobs, because the new jobs coming in have such requirements that the people in the rural communities, they just do not meet that. They're lacking the transportation, the pay, the education, a lot of the things that these new jobs are bringing in. And it seems to be harder and harder to get a good level paying job. Also, because of people coming in from states that are more wealthy than ours, the housing market has just skyrocketed on values of homes. So local people cannot afford to buy something different or to even rent. Like what would normally be like a $600-800 rental is now double that, like $1,200 to $1,500 for a mobile home or a modular home that's not even big enough to hold your family. And again, it's outskirts of town. This also affects the economy because a lot of the agricultural land, where people are just needing money so badly, they're selling off their farmland to get money, and then they're taking the farmland and just building housing or condos upon housing and condos. And again, it's not affordable for those that are living in the rural areas. This is a great problem because you're just making the rich richer and the poor poorer, where they're not able to get a better way of life because they're just not accepted, and those that already struggle with so many things are just struggling more. And our textbook with Daly speaks about all of those things and the discrimination that comes along with that, because people in rural communities are considered dumb or stupid when they might just be a little less educated than others, but they get called names and then just kind of stereotype that they're just not smart, so they can't do those jobs. The trades that they do know, like the logging, the fishing, the hunting, they're losing the land, and also people are just not able to do that kind of work anymore. They can try to get factory work. That's about all they can get. And again, you still have to meet so many requirements. So certain people that struggle with disabilities or the mental health issues, they still cannot obtain these jobs. In comparing that to Kelly's chapter in the Christian and Social Work textbook, it spoke a lot about the poor and the injustice, and it was stating about how we are called to serve, and we need to find a way to do that. And it also mentioned that, from the Bible, that the scripture that says the love of money is the root of all evil. And I do believe that that's true, because the more people get, the more greedy they get. And so they just want more. And so a person who's living at a poverty or even very low class to middle class level, they just cannot make ends meet. So there are issues with all these things. You can't find housing, you can't find jobs, or you don't make enough. And then just the more people that move in, it really raises the standards for the others who are already struggling in so many areas. How I would address that would really just have to get in with our local government and the policymakers and try our best to change some legislation, or put in some rules or laws or something to help protect certain areas, but definitely the people, or lesser the standards of being able to get a better paying job. Maybe change just any kind of policy that would help with the funding. But I think the greatest way to address it is to educate the people. I'm not talking about getting a certain degree of education. I'm talking about really educating our community, rural and urban, of what the problem is, and how everybody could work together to fix that. So many people don't, if you've never lived a life of poverty or just low class, you do not understand how others do and make it. And quite frankly, the ones I know, they're not interested in learning how to make things better. So I think to educate people, like make some of these people that have never dealt with a hard thing in their life go to these communities, go to these areas, see where people live and how they live and what they're dealing with, and hopefully that would make a change. But in the process, until we can get some legislation changed and get the community on board, like get community driven people that is going to work hard to help others, until we can do that, we just got to serve the best way that we can, hit up the people that we can, that we know, and do it ourselves, and just try to help one another out, and live the best life that we can live, and educate and be there for one another when times get hard. So that is my discussion for this week. Thank you, and have a good night.